Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped upside.
Nope. Today we're talking about ghosts.
All right. Today, welcome back to Nope, the show that has nothing to do with Marvel and DC, but instead is me looking for recent sightings of the paranormal or cryptozoology type and seeing if I can convince Sal or Dan that it is now a thing and change them from stating nope to yep.
No. I'm sorry. Especially today's topic. I love the idea of ghosts, but
okay,
no,
I was gonna say, let's
not
start
even
from the top. Let's go. Let's introduce Sal. What is your current stance on ghost sightings in the modern day?
It's not real. They're not ghosts. I'm sorry. I want to believe in ghosts. I want to believe in all these things, by the way, just as a heads up. I would love to believe in, like, chupacabras, Bigfoots, ghosts, aliens, all that stuff. No.
I like the idea of there being more out there, something we don't understand that we can figure out.
Yeah. I mean, we already have, like, a lot, but I would also love, because that's the thing, right? All we want is a tether to the otherworldly. Like, we want to believe in magic and mystery and stuff we can't possibly explain. And that's what we're, like, touching on. But I also can't abide being like, so I saw a ghost, and I'm like, no, you didn't.
Or did they? But we'll talk in a minute. All right, Dan, where's your current stance on ghosts?
I believe in the paranormal. I can't fully believe in ghosts, if that makes sense, because I have had an experience where, in theory, and from what I have been told, there's a good chance I did see a ghost. And I'll tell that story real quick because I like telling that story.
Yeah, please take it away.
We got a pad for time, Dan. Tell the story.
So in Boulder, Colorado, there's a lot of, Colorado's got a lot of good haunted places. I feel like everyone does. But anyway, there's a hotel called the Boulder Hotel. And apparently it is notorious for being haunted. So long time ago, back when I was in high school, my cousin was getting married. We were all staying there. I was not aware of the fact that it was haunted. I was not informed. I knew nothing about it.
Okay, so you weren't looking for it.
I was not looking for it. Like, nothing in me wanted to see something. Like, I had no idea. Me and my sister, we shared a room. In the middle of the night, I woke up and there was someone at the end of my bed. I still sit, like, to this day, I don't know why I did not react in any way, but I saw this man standing at the foot of my bed, and, like, a very vivid, like, I could describe him, and I saw him there, and I looked at him and I was like, this is weird, and went back to bed.
This is
exactly. I mean, I did have some to drink during that evening, so part of me was probably like, I'll deal with that in the morning. Mm-hmm. But so fast forward like a day or two, and I told my mom about this, and I was like, oh yeah, I had this really weird dream. I woke up and I thought I saw someone at the end of my bed, and my mom's like, my mom's like, are you aware that the Boulder Hotel's known for being haunted? And I was like, I was not aware of this at all. And I described to her this person that I saw. And my mom went online and found a picture of one of the supposed people that are haunting the hotel. And it was word for word exactly how I had described this person. And if I had known about this prior, I would be like, oh no, it was probably my mind just playing tricks on me. But I thought it was one of those that's overly coincidental that I had no idea about any of this, and yet I somehow saw this person that I described to a T of this person that's supposedly haunting the hotel. So that is the main reason why I cannot disprove any of it, because I have had experiences like that. I've also been up to the Stanley and seen some stuff where it's like, I want to be able to explain how that happened, like even simple things like a lollipop, you like sticking straight up, it falls down, you're like, okay, it falls down, but then it like goes all the way back up. if it happened to anyone else, I'd be like, oh, it's whatever. But I saw it happen in my mom's hand. And it's just one of those things that it's like, when it's from someone that you trust or that also believes and would not try and mess with it, it becomes a little more of there's got to be something behind this. And that's why I say paranormal as opposed to just straight up ghosts, because like it could just be spirits, or it could be a ghost, or it could be energy left that did the lollipop at the hotel. It could have been something. I mean, for all I know, it could have been something like a dream that was like inhibited by where I was and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
No, absolutely. You could have seen like maybe a portrait that stuck out in your mind subconsciously, and you experienced sleep paralysis, and as a result, like you hallucinated. Maybe the reason why you were so easy to go back to sleep is because you literally couldn't do anything else. But you know, I'm not here to disprove hosts of the show have their own experiences.
Right. I mean, I've had quite a few experiences myself, and I've mentioned them on a few other shows, and maybe we'll do a whole episode where we could talk about individual experiences.
Yeah.
But it's kind of more what Dan says. Like, I've experienced a lot of paranormal. I don't know if I could fully attribute it to being a ghost.
Right.
But ghosts are a big thing. I mean, I think, what is it, History Channel? One of them has like 4 ghost hunter shows right now. It's like,
That's true. Although I will say, the Ghost Hunter show, when it started, those guys used to disprove. Like, that was the show. They'd be like, it's not ghosts, it's leaky pipes, it's like this weird wiring. Like, the first thing they would do is prove that it's not ghosts and then leave. And I'm like, good on you guys.
Yeah.
And then they left because they were like, that's horrible. It's horrible for us.
Did you know that there's a current show going which features Jack Osborne, the son of Ozzy Osbourne, as a ghost hunter with his friend?
No.
I was watching this while in one of the hotels, either LA or here, and he went to I think it was like Louisiana or something, and they went down into the underground tunnels to see where the prisoners were kept and everything. And I'm like, that's Ozzy Osbourne's son going ghost hunting. What?
Right.
How do I get a ghost hunting show? I'm on board.
Seriously, no, like that's the dream, is really becoming a Ghostbuster. I mean, at the end of the day.
If this podcast leads to a Nope television show where we're hunting ghosts, Sal, we're also wearing proton packs.
Yeah, I'll bring mine. I got one at home. But like, I want there to be ghosts, but no.
Complete side topic. Whenever you say like the whole Ozzy Osbourne's son doing this, whenever I see this kind of stuff, I always think TV has now kind of become rich person YouTube, where they're like, oh, I want to make this ghost hunting podcast. I'm going to do it on the History Channel because I can.
Right,
Yeah,
like Ozzy
you're not
Osbourne's son
wrong.
could easily, with his friends, like shoot their own show that would get like 5 million subs if they made it themselves, and they could keep all the money. Instead, the first thing he did was whoever was like, oh, well, I know a production studio, we'll just make the show.
Yeah.
I remember, we'll end this topic here because obviously it's not what we're here for, but I remember talking to someone about like YouTubers who were very successful moving to Netflix and making far less money in that year time span
Yeah.
because they weren't doing the YouTube gig. But that's
No, they
a
don't
different
own it.
discussion. Yeah. So anyway, though, but that brings us to today's topic.
Right.
Have you guys heard any recent sightings of ghosts?
No.
Not overly so. I'm sure people do it all the time, but I haven't heard like anyone be like, hey, did you hear about
Saw a
this
ghost.
thing? Like,
Yeah, no, I haven't
Well,
heard any.
apparently, during the quarantine heavy period, there was a major uptick in sighting of ghosts.
shocker.
During COVID, when COVID-19 restrictions started, this paranormal, the host of TV's Ghost Stalkers, used to only get 2 to 5 calls a month from people trying to convince them that their homes are haunted. But
Okay.
since the start of COVID, he was getting 10 calls a week.
Oh.
Paranormal activity has been on a rise since COVID-19 came around.
Because people
Love
are
it.
at home where the ghosts are. They're not outside, and the
Where the
ghosts
ghosts are.
Yeah, the ghosts are like, oh God, we got to share this place with this asshole. Like, God damn.
What is your initial idea? What do you think this is related to, Sal? Why do you think
I
people
mean, it's gotta be, right? It's like you're home more. They're hearing sounds they don't normally hear. They're at their house during periods when they don't normally spend time in it. So there are new and unfamiliar sounds or experiences that they like, that they normally don't have like worked into their own system. It could be that they're sick. You know, maybe they have COVID and they're experiencing hallucinations, or at the very least some kind of like sensory deprivation that makes them think that it's ghosts, because people love to think that it's ghosts instead of just faulty wiring. But yeah, I mean, all the reasons that you normally see ghosts, but ratcheted to 11 because everyone is now in their homes. Like the stuff you would normally attribute to ghosts, usually people are like, for a flicker of a moment I saw a ghost, right? Not like for a prolonged 2-hour span. There were just ghosts everywhere.
Right.
But now you're home in that space all the time. So whatever it is that causes a ghost-esque experience is now bombarding you with that experience. So that'd be my guess. It's just like you're ratcheting up your exposure to the environment, whereupon you would normally trick your mind into thinking you saw a ghost.
Okay. So this has also been reported by the New York Times, but the New York Times helpfully notes, as this article states, helpfully notes, there's no scientific evidence to support the existence of ghosts.
Oh,
I
my
appreciate they put that
gosh.
there. It's so important they do, because people will think that it's like an endorsement of ghosts. Like people go like, they're ghosts. New York Times said so. It's like, no. They wanted you to click on it because of it and then tell you there are no ghosts.
So the types of ghost sightings we've had are knocks and footsteps in the hallway, some very strange occurrences like whispered voices coming from the TV, or getting text messages from long deceased relatives and friends.
Okay, those are all explainable.
Okay. We'll ignore the noises. How do you explain the TV set and the text messages, Sal? Let's see what that is.
Well, depending on what kind of TV you have, you can get like a weird signal. Hell, I was watching Amazon Fire Stick yesterday, and for no reason, whole screen turned pink.
Okay.
But when I switched inputs, TV was fine. Then I went back to it, still pink. Then I just turned it off, turned it back on again, not pink anymore. You know, like you get ghost signals from all kinds of things. Could be a loose port. It could be you have. I've had situations where, especially on my phone, it's not necessarily on the same as the TV, but like I've had ads that play on my phone, and then I'll close a browser, but I didn't really close the browser, and the ad is playing.
I was gonna say that's happened to me before. Where I'll come down here and I'll pop music on it. I swear I hear somebody talking to me, and I'm like, "What's going on? What's going on?"
It's a Spotify ad.
It's a Spotify ad, or in worst case for me, my phone is playing a game. And so they're talking in Japanese.
Oh my god!
And you have it like one volume up, so you aren't aware. Yes, I've had that.
That would scare
happen.
the hell out of me. By the way, I don't need to hear like muffled Japanese voices.
And that's what I'm hearing. And I'm like, do I have a Japanese ghost in my? Oh no, it's
if
Miku.
you do,
it's
that's the end of you. By the way, I'll take a Western ghost any old day of the week. Japanese ghosts don't play by the rules. They mess with you in the daytime.
They don't play by the rules.
They don't play by the rules.
But I want to. Do you actually have a theory for the text messages, or what do you
New
think?
number.
But they're deceased.
Yeah, but like the
Numbers get
number still
recycled.
exists.
Yeah.
Somebody else just got the number. Like, especially if they are deceased, because there's no one to complain about. Like, you know, Dad had a number. He used to text me all the time through it. Then he died. Well, AT&T is going to give that number away.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of people who will text their loved one, their past loved one, and just tell them like that they love them or they care about them, right? But someone does get that number one day.
Yeah,
And
That's true.
I've heard stories where people are like, they miss this person. I'll respond,
Oh, okay.
and I'll be like, you know, I'm proud of you.
I was like,
Or
because
I
they're
forgive
stating that
you.
the uptick of ghosts could be the fact that everyone's in a heightened emotional state.
That's
They've
true.
all been sequestered. They're spending time in their house, which they don't normally do at certain hours.
Yeah.
This is the ways to discount all of this.
I do want to say that all of this, it's all paranormal. None of it's actually ghosts. Like, I feel
Right.
like ghost and paranormal has melded too much, because whenever I think ghost sighting, I think when, like, my waking up in the middle of the night, or when you look down the hallway and you see something move across or something like
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
a ghost sighting.
Right.
Hearing knocks, hearing screeches, hearing a voice, that's a paranormal activity. And
It's only a ghost when you see a phantasm of some kind.
Exactly, like a
Well,
ghost
speaking
is
of
an
ghosts-
actual thing, and that's why I lean into the paranormal stuff, because sometimes I do think, wait a second, like what caused that to happen? It's not something normal, it's paranormal.
Right.
But seeing a ghost of like I look out looked down a dark hallway and I swear I saw something run across.
Yeah.
Like, that's an actual ghost sighting, in my opinion. And
Well,
I feel
like this
it's just
situation
kinda-
here.
Yeah.
So this guy's claiming he followed up on one of them, okay? And he was in a situation with a room of 13 people, and the lights were off, and the room was allegedly haunted. They were sitting in the dark, and everyone was saying their name, kind of introducing themselves for the ghost, for a lack of a better word.
Okay.
One woman in the corner refused to say her name, which is fine, but when the host asked if she could say where she was from, she didn't respond. And when they turned the light on, that person vanished. That would, as you would put it, Dan, would be a ghost experience.
That would be a ghost sighting, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's creepy. That's
But speaking of ghosts, what if during COVID, Dan, you saw ghosts walking through your streets?
that
You looked outside and saw ghosts walking down your streets.
that would be a ghost sighting. I'm not sure what the question is here.
What would you do?
What would I do? Well, I would probably look at it and go, well, first off, why am I looking outside? My computer's right in front of me.
Right.
No, but I mean, I don't know what I would do, because that's also one of those ones where it's like, well, what would make me think it's a ghost as opposed to
Well,
just
you
seeing...
physically see a ghost. It's like white makeup, a sheet over.
If I
Same
saw
thing.
white, if I saw white makeup on someone walking through the streets, I would legitimately think it was a bunch of kids that wanted to mess with people into thinking that they saw ghosts walking through the streets.
So,
What about you, Sal? What do you think about that?
Right. Like, I mean, immediately I would jump to ghosts or not. I would not jump to ghosts are real. It's all real. Yes. Like I wouldn't immediately jump into the deep end of the pool, so to speak. I would immediately try to explain or look for explanations for that for that occurrence. Either it's like smart alecky kids or a trick of the light, or it's usually some kind of prank. If I saw a ghost, if I saw if I was like in a
you
room,
look out your window, there's a physical ghost.
physical ghost. I mean, like my first
Because that
inclination.
happened on the island of Java Island in Indonesia.
Oh,
well, see, I don't have to worry. My house is salted, so I'm good. I'm safe.
my
I'm
first
not even
inclination would be to
kidding.
take a picture of the ghost with my phone or take a video of it.
And you would be able to, because on Java Island, where they're very superstitious, the police were dressing up as ghosts to keep people indoors during COVID.
Oh my god,
That's genius. For the record,
is.
that
it's
is
horrific.
It worked. Apparently, everyone stayed indoors
Yeah,
for
I'll
a
bet.
month.
That's
But
amazing.
what a great story you have
Yeah.
for the rest of your life. Oh, yeah, the cops haunted our town to keep us
Yeah.
inside.
So it backfired eventually, because after their first month, it had the opposite effect, because people were going outside to catch a glimpse of the apparitions.
Sure.
Oh, well, they haven't come in the house. Let's go see what happens if we go out there with the ghosts.
Right. No. Don't do
That's
it.
funny.
Yeah.
But
That's
like,
great.
what I'm getting at is, I feel like scenes like this, cops pretending to be ghosts,
Yeah.
and then you get ghost stories like the woman disappearing, and then you're stuck in your house with all kinds of noises and stuff happening. I mean, you hear animals in the attic, you hear
Yeah.
people on the outside, your wall's not as thin as you want, or your app game is currently has Hatsune Miku talking in a Japanese voice,
Right.
muffled by other things. All of this leads to sightings of this type.
Yeah.
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 Oh, this gets even worse. I didn't even realize this. There's a photo here of the ghosts.
Oh, even better.
man.
Great. I can't wait to see this ghost.
This is what people were hiding from.
You know what, actually? Yeah. I mean,
If you were to just look outside and you saw this,
I think that's one of the, you know what? I want to make fun of it for being like, oh, that's so ridiculous. But at the same time, when it comes to hauntings and stuff that's realistic, the more abnormal, the more you are like okay with it
Right.
being a ghost
like our
or
chat is
something,
stating
because
that
it's
looks
like,
so bad. But you got a picture. What if you're looking
Out a
down the
window.
street,
Yeah.
out a window?
Yeah.
This is what you see.
That'd be creepy, but I wouldn't immediately think of ghosts. I'd think of like, oh my god, like someone's doing something weird down there.
it's a weird
I
art
stay
project
away
down
from it.
there.
Right, but if you're a superstitious part of the world where everyone
Sure.
really believes in
Yeah.
them,
Right. Well, if I believed, then I would believe in it. But if I don't, that's not going to do anything to fix it.
it's not going to make you suddenly go, "Oh my god,
Yeah. Oh my ghost. No.
So-
oh my ghost."
Things like that, I want to say, seeing things like that does not, in my mind, discount the potential existence of paranormal or ghosts. Because if anything, whenever I see that kind of stuff, it makes me think, people who might have real sightings or real experiences are less likely to speak up because these things happened and they don't want to be that stupid guy that fell for it.
Right.
And so I feel like a lot of the more serious ones, or who knows, the real ones, are just not being reported because of this kind of thing.
Well, I
Right.
feel like linked to this during the major periods of COVID, the first year of major quarantine in most of the world, we also got a lot of reports of depression. We got
Yes.
a lot of reports of psychotic episodes, depression, stuff like that.
Right.
And related to that can be audio and visual hallucinations and cues, which if you're more inclined to believe this kind of a thing, would
Yeah.
help you be like, oh, I see a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, remember when like everyone was into zombies and then that dude on bath salts ate that guy's face? And,
Oh
like,
my God.
People
Yes.
people literally thought zombies were real for a minute. Like but I remember like me being like, someone's a jerk. Like someone's a psycho. Like, you know, like I didn't think like, oh, zombies are real. It's all on. And then I just shoot the neighbor I've always wanted to kill. Like, no, it's
Wow, that was an escalation. Hell of a spike there.
Because that's what it is, right? It's like it's permission. Like finding out there's magic is just giving people permission to behave like there's magic in the world, or like they can do whatever they want. Like the only reason people want a zombie outbreak is because people want permission to not follow the rules. And the reason people want to believe in ghosts is because they want to know that there's something else after death.
Yeah.
Like, so
And,
yeah.
and maybe you combine that with a pandemic where everyone's
People are-
forced inside and you're all being told that a week into it you're going to die.
Right.
You want to believe that there's something afterwards. You're going
Oh,
to
sure.
this home. You're going to want that.
Well, you're
regardless
stressed
of your,
out. Yeah.
regardless of the end of your stance about masks or vaccines or even COVID itself, there was a year-long period where most of the world was like, everyone's indoors and we don't care what you want and everything's shut down.
Yeah.
Like you were stuck with it. So
Right.
You know what's going to be funny is if ghosts are actually real and hauntings happen 20, 30, 40 years down the road, COVID ghosts are haunting people and they're like, oh, this Netflix show, oh my God, Tiger King. And we just
COVID
have all
ghosts.
these different haunting stories of people in white masks walking through the streets or
Right.
people in their living room. I mean, you never know, because if ghosts are real,
Right.
that's very, very possible.
Yeah, well, yeah, you don't really hear about like the 90s ghosts that are like sticking it to the man and wearing like Jinko jeans or anything like that, right? Like, but they
That would
should
be
be,
hilarious.
right?
Yeah.
They're cemented in their time frame. Although the thing is with ghosts, because they're not real, you can just make up whatever you want. Like you don't have to worry about a mythology around ghosts.
So I doubt this did because I didn't really bring up a more recent sighting. We mostly just
Sure.
said- but as we end every show, Sal, do you now believe in ghosts?
No.
Dan?
I'm sticking to what I said at the
Dan
start.
saw a ghost.
Paranormal, 100%. Ghosts, 50%.
All right. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Nope. Next week, we're going to be looking at a mythological creature a little bit more in the backwoods of Sal's area.
Oh no.
And that's all. See you next week.